Feminism has extinguished masculinity. One of modern society's faults is the disappearance of the male mentor as a result of the feminine purpose of shattering young guys' spirits. Men will hold "I'm a feminist" because masculinity is dangerous signs. We have failed to offer a secure outlet for masculine aggressiveness and have developed into a state of passivity and tolerance. We are tolerant of female conduct, our circumstances, and not receiving what we want. I am not a Maha fan, but when he claimed we anesthetize ourselves with sports and pornographic content, he was correct. Instead of allowing males to wrestle, fight, explore, and physically exhaust themselves, we inject them with medicines in order to avoid upsetting the girls with their growing masculinity. A man who is so afraid of confrontation, commitment, and being alone that he will go to any length to avoid it. And I don't mean commitment on a romantic level with women. I'm talking about committing to an ideal, deciding to take responsibility for your life, educating yourself to find out what you stand for, and making progress towards whatever your end objective is. When we spend all of our waking hours on the internet playing video games and messing around with zero direction, we no longer comprehend the concept of moderation. How many of us grow up with no grasp of essential male concepts? History, philosophy, art, music, the classics, poetry, Shakespeare, and other pillars of civilization are taught because of their power to transform young boys into educated, driven young men. You don't have to love language to appreciate Shakespeare, and you don't have to be religious to derive meaning and insight from the Bible. Great men like Aristotle, Plato, Tesla, Darwin, and Michelangelo are examples. How many young males can name every member of their preferred sports team's starting lineup? How many scientists can you name? When men with an encyclopedic knowledge of the Star Wars universe can't take the time to read the Iliad, civilization will continue to decline. We don't know these facts because feminism has consistently denied us access to them. Because it wasn't fair to girls that facts were more important than feelings, we've placed a higher value on sensitivity than truth. As I look around at modern culture, I see men like Mr. Rogers labeled as a creep and pedophiles because of his interest in helping young children. You'd be hard-pressed to find a more compassionate and caring individual than Fred Rogers. But modern feminism has seduced that men are incapable of such feelings and commitments without underlying motives. We have allowed women to deracinate masculine influence due to false worries of molestation from any man who comes within arm's reach of a child. We need to reintroduce the concept of male wisdom and mentoring to young males. If you have counselors and guidance instructors in school who were born privileged, what is a guy going to learn from them? What is a guy who comes from the street and sees crime all around going to learn from a privileged, death-leaning counselor at his school? He has nothing in common with her. He needs someone who has seen the harsh reality of life to guide him. He needs strong examples like these who aren't afraid to question him, less compliments and nice words, and more tough direction to learn. Feminism has extinguished all notions of mentors and masculine counselors. In fact, it has extinguished masculinity entirely. Masculinity is more than just a biological state. It is a practice and a tradition passed down from man to man. It is an unbelievable relationship between father and son that has lasted for millennia. It is what holds communities together, and it is what taught men what it is to be men. Contrary to popular belief, masculinity is not the root of social disorder. In fact, patriarchy and male responsibility kept the tribe together, as experiments and studies have shown. When thrown into a survival-type environment, men tend to get together faster and build, while women start to bicker among themselves. I find it difficult to believe that women could have laid down civilizations and led tribes if they can't even manage their own lives in the modern world. Nevertheless, if you talk to a feminist, she'll tell you that masculinity was the underlying cause of every horrible thing in history. It's a thorough and entire demonization of masculinity as a whole. How do you even begin to fathom his crazy hatred? What do you even say to these women who have left no space for rethinking? Keep the movement going, people. That's the only way out. By keeping masculine movements going, we can reclaim what was lost, fight against the expanding insanity of the contemporary world, and raise our sons the proper way.